Rain tapped softly on the car roof as Sarah held her baby close, wrapping the thin blanket tighter around him. The night was cold, darker than usual, and the parking lot was almost empty. Her car had become her home, a cramped, silent space that smelled of baby powder and old coffee. She glanced at the rearview mirror, her tired eyes catching her own reflection. Once, she had a small apartment, a job, and dreams. But when the company she worked for downsized, everything disappeared, first the paycheck, then the rent, and finally, her hope. Her baby stirred and whimpered. She whispered softly, "Shish, it's okay, Noah. Mommy's here." She reached into the diaper bag, finding nothing left but an empty bottle and one diaper. She sighed, the weight of exhaustion pressing on her chest. Every night was a battle between despair and determination. She couldn't afford to cry anymore. Tears didn't buy formula or gas. The car's heater had stopped working days ago, and frost had started to form on the inside of the windows. She rubbed her hands together, trying to create a little warmth. In the distance, a tall office building glowed against the night sky. Its windows sparkled like stars, each one holding people who probably had no idea someone was sleeping just across the street. Sarah watched those lights and thought about how, not long ago, she used to be one of them. She worked late shifts, typing reports and attending meetings, never imagining life could flip so fast. She tried to sleep, but hunger kept her awake. Her stomach growled softly as she rocked Noah in her arms. The baby's tiny breaths calmed her for a moment, until a knock on the window startled her. She jumped, clutching her child protectively. Through the fogged glass, she saw a figure, tall, wearing a dark coat, his face barely visible. Her heart raced. Who would approach a lone car at this hour? The man leaned closer, his breath creating small clouds on the glass. "Are you okay?" he asked gently through the window. His voice was calm, steady, nothing like the harsh tones she'd learned to fear from strangers. Sarah hesitated, unsure whether to respond. But something in his eyes, kind and concerned, made her roll the window down just an inch. "We're fine," she said quietly, though her voice trembled. He frowned slightly, noticing the baby and the shivering woman. "You're not fine," he said softly. "It's freezing out here. I just need a few more days," she murmured, her pride wrestling with her fear. "We'll be okay." The man nodded slowly, then reached into his coat pocket. "My name's Michael," he said. "I run the building across the lot. I've seen your car here the past few nights." Her cheeks burned with embarrassment. "I didn't mean to cause trouble," she said quickly. "We'll leave if you want." Michael shook his head. "You're not in trouble. I just can't walk past anymore and pretend I don't see." He handed her a card. "Come by tomorrow morning. I can help." She looked at the card. It was crisp, white, and embossed with gold letters. Michael Anderson, CEO, Anderson Logistics. She blinked in disbelief. "Why would someone like you help me?" He smiled faintly. "Because someone once helped me when I needed it most." The next morning, Sarah hesitated outside the building, Noah bundled in her arms. Her clothes were wrinkled, her hair messy, but Michael's kind expression eased her nerves as he greeted her in the lobby. "You came," he said warmly. "I almost didn't," she admitted. "Didn't think anyone would care." "Everyone deserves a chance," he replied. He led her to his office, where he handed her a cup of hot coffee. The warmth spread through her hands, thawing the chill she'd carried for weeks. They talked for hours, about her past job, her skills, and her situation. He listened carefully, never judging, never interrupting. By the end of the conversation, he smiled. "I can offer you a position. It's entry level, but it's a start. You can use the company daycare, too." Her eyes widened. "You're serious?" "Completely," he said. "And we'll help you get housing through our partner program." Tears filled her eyes as she whispered, "Thank you. You don't know what this means." Michael shook his head. "I think I do." Weeks turned into months, and Sarah's life began to change. She found herself smiling again, walking into the office each morning with purpose. Her coworkers admired her resilience, unaware of the storm she had weathered. Noah laughed freely at the daycare, his cheeks rosy and full of life. One afternoon, as she looked out the same window she once stared at from her car, she saw a reflection, not of the broken woman she had been, but of someone stronger, hopeful. Michael passed by her desk and smiled. "You're doing great, Sarah," he said. "Because someone believed I could," she replied. Years later, when Sarah became a supervisor, she kept a photo of that night on her desk, a picture of her and Noah, taken just after they'd moved into their first apartment. The car was long gone, but the memory of that knock on the window stayed with her forever. Whenever a struggling employee came to her for help, she remembered what Michael had done, and she paid it forward. A single act of compassion had changed her story. From homeless to hopeful, because someone chose to care.